Welcome to Tales from the Black Tower, a solo D&D game currently following Tobias Vandermill, Human Wizard. My name is Body, and I'll be your player dungeon master for the next little while. When last we left our adventurers, the Tabaxi bard, Morning's Breath, had just been ensnared by bands of necromantic energy as he tried to open a chest that was being hunted by a silver dragon named Daelian. Tobias, the human wizard, is with Morning's Breath, and obviously he's going to be trying to get the magic bands off of Morning's Breath. So, let's see. Is this something that Tobias can even do anything about? He's got detect magic running right now, so he knows that this is their necrotic bands that are around him. Actually, that gives me a quick question though. Is the necromantic energy on the chest still gone? Has that been expended? So I think that's a 50-50. So just asking that real quick. 53, which means yes, the necromantic energy on the chest has dissipated. That doesn't really help Morning, but for now at least, it seems like they might have something happen with the chest moving forward. What I think is that with the detect magic and with his ability to use magic, and he's got prestidigitation, so he can do little magical things. I think that he's gonna have I think he's gonna have some ability to do something about the restraints. But I think it's likely, yeah, likely. We're at chaos 6, so likely we want a 85 or under in order for Tobias to be able to do anything. Actually, let's say somewhat likely. So only 80. So can Tobias remove the necromantic energy restraints from Morning's Breath? Or is it something that we're gonna have to do they dissipate with time? Is it like a curse? Is he gonna have to carry him all the way back to civilization in order to try to get these removed? 80 or under. So yeah, so he's gonna be able to do something about that. And I think that's a 57. That's not a hell yes would have been a 16 or less. So that's not yeah, he can do it. It's easy. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be relatively difficult. We'll say a DC 17 actually. All right, cool. Huh, we got this. Is there? No, never mind. Okay, I thought it might have a DC in the GM's Apprentice area, but we'll say DC 17. So a fairly difficult task. So he's going to use his Arcana and his Prestidigitation. You don't really have to. It's a cantrip, so he doesn't have to worry about using his spell slots. He's got a +6 to Arcana, DC 17. Oh shit! All right, 20 makes it easy. So yeah, it's no worries, man. He's Morning's Breath was laying there on the ground after getting zapped by the necrotic energy of the bands that emanated from the chest, and Tobias, with his detect magic in infrared vision, bends down, sort of pokes at the bands, and sort of just does some magic stuff. Takes his casting focus, which is a rod, I believe, and sort of just does some magic things and is able to unwind the bands from morning. He takes, let's say this takes 1d4 rounds actually because he did it so well. But okay, so it took 3 rounds. They were the bands were sort of really well wrapped around him. And hold on, so Tobias bends down and around morning and deftly removes the necrotic fans whose magic is being revealed by the detect magic spell that is still working. Okay, so that's pretty simple. But now we return to the topic of the chest. Like, Tobias and Morning's Breath exchange a couple words. Like Morning's Breath, says that the necrotic the bands actually injured him and hurt him, and but they sort of like make sure they're all right. And Tobias returns to the chest, and seeing that the necrotic energy has dissipated, the question is, was that necrotic energy in the trap related to the chest not looking like it has any opening? I think that's unlikely. I think the question is, can the chest be simply opened now? And I think that's no way. I think that's very unlikely, but there's a 25% chance. No. And I would need an 86 to be a heck no. So no, the chest is still sort of there's no obvious hinges. There's no real. You can't tell that there's any sort of opening area. But the nature of the trap makes it seem like that it was actually some way to get the chest open. So what I think, what's going to happen now? I think identify requires some sort of component, right? Yes, a pearl worth at least 100 gold. And let's see, what are the tracks? How much gold do we have? Yeah, we have, like, the party has 100 and some gold. I got this right here, just another notepad. But most of that gold was discovered on the road. So I'm gonna say, like, what's one of the nice things about the solo DMing is you don't actually have to come up with every situation, and you make sure your characters prepare for everything. You can just say, oh, it's what was Tobias, prepared? Did he come prepared with Pearl, so he can use his actual spells? And this one, though, I don't think, like, hypothetically, I could make this an impossible or no way, but I don't think he wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have had the money. He probably even if he had, he probably wouldn't have wouldn't have brought it because it's like too valuable to bring along. I do think I want to roll. Does he have a pearl? Actually, no, it doesn't really matter if he has a pearl back home. So we're just gonna end that thread. So what's the next scene? I think that's the end of the scene. So chaos. So the scene was what Kaz got taken away. Delian came and basically kidnapped Kaz. And how long? We already established that Kaz or Delian is not gonna be back anytime soon. The characters don't know that, but and the question is, I forgot what my question was. The question is, how long does he actually take to get back? So I'm gonna go with D6 hours. This is still very early in the morning. Remember, this is something that the characters are not gonna know, but we will know as the DM. Delian comes back about 6 hours. I'm just gonna make a note. 6 hours, Delian. So, but really though, like, are they gonna stick around for 6 hours? Like, he is a silver dragon, so he's probably gonna have some ability to pay them, and he's obviously, they captured him. That's assuming that that the alien makes good on the deal that they made. I think, though, that at the very least, Tobias is going to take this time and like poke and prod at the chest. I think it's gonna be something where like is it something that is he able to open it in 6 hours? I think it's gonna be impossible. So this is a 10% chance with Chaos 6. Yeah, so no, he's not able to open it in the 6 hours. He's going to sit there and try and sort of poke and prod, but he's also not trying to make it obvious that he's trying to open up. He's just going to be investigating, and he's going to be reading the script, probably making notes about what it is that was written in the story about the dragon who conquered a human nation. But they are in the wilderness. They're not moving, but something could happen. So we have that's in the way. Let me hide that. So we actually have buddy, we're having some trouble. There we go. We are in the wilderness, and we need to roll a 60-12 for them as they basically sit and wait for the alien to return, and this will determine like the setup for the next scene. And I think chaos actually goes down to 5. So let me finish off these notes. Tobias continues to try and figure out how to open the chest just without damaging it. And until the alien returns. But the setup for the next scene in Chaos 5. The setup for the next scene is going to be everybody. So we have this 60-12 element roll, which comes from the Solar Adventurers Toolbox. I have a 10 in the blue and a 10 in the white. 9 in the mottled. We are in standard wilderness, by the way. 9 in the mottled, 5 in the clear, 4 in the yellow, nothing, 3 in the black. So there's no monsters. We've got a 10 in the blue, a 10 in the white. So we do find a clue, and we find a feature. So as they're waiting, there is a forest feature, which we're going to get a D100 out. And it's a 64, which becomes, there's a small wooded gully. Basically, as they're waiting around, they, what's his face, the Tabaxi Bard, Morning's Breath, sort of scouts around as Tobias tinkers with the chest and finds a small gully with a stream that they're able to get some water from. Maybe there's probably some berries that they're able to discover. But the clue I think we're going to find out is something related to a thread. We're going to move towards the thread. We're going to say that getting a clue is moving towards a thread. If we're going by the Mythic generator. So in the gully, they actually find a clue. And that clue is going to be move towards thread. And the question is, what thread are they going to move towards? Do I have threads open? That's really... So these are the threads. Right here we've got the road, we've got a couple of these map things, anti-magic zone, some kobolds, and then the thief. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to D5. It's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, okay, as they are so move towards the thread related to the kobolds, and then the event, the random. Well, first, okay. So that's the setup for the scene, is finding this clue, but we need to find out if it's an interrupt or altered scene. So it's Chaos 5. And we're going to roll a D10. It's a 7, so that's not lower, that's not equal to or lower than the Chaos, so we don't have to worry about that. But now we're going to roll for the event, action, and subject on the toward a thread clue. So the action is going to be, this is related to kobolds, a 2, which is starting. Kobolds are starting 32. Kobolds are starting plans. All right, so kobolds starting plans. You can almost like see in the gully. Oh man. I don't know why I can't move it. There we go. You can almost see in the map here. There's a bit of a gully. Kobold starting plans, moving towards the kobold thread. So I think what Morning's Breath finds in the gully is the thread is kobolds. This is where kobolds in the ruins. There's a thread moving towards the thread. Let's see if we can get some help with the GM's apprentice. Okay, the 9 of Swords. So I think what happens is when he goes down to the gully, he sees a yeah, there's a rune. There's going to be a rune on one of the stones at the gully. So like this gully is like a little stream, but on one side there's a bunch of stones that are sort of making the bed of the river. And when Morning sees them, he sees there's one large boulder type thing that has some sort of rune in it that is then painted also. And then when Morning goes and gets Tobias to look at it, and when Tobias sees it, he realizes that it's the sigil of a kobold clan. Because he's able to like read the Dragonborn and understand their writing. So Tobias, Morning's Breath, while waiting, Morning searches the area and finds a small gully where they are able to get water and pick berries. In the gully, there is a large boulder with a kobold clan inscription. The question is, there's a large boulder with Kobold clan inscription. The question is, does Tobias recognize that inscription, recognize that rune? It's a rune. I think, is it the same rune of that kobold that they met, named Snulgo? That was a kobold that they defeated in the ruins a couple days back. Yeah, I think it's likely. I think this is likely to be that. It's Chaos 5, so it's going to be 75% chance. 11. Not only is that... yes, that's a hell yes. So, Kobold Clan Rune. Interestingly, it's the same rune that Snulgo... It's the same rune from... it's the same... Actually, the rune means Snulgo. Interestingly, it's the rune of Snulgo, the kobold they defeated a few days ago. They know this because all of the gold coins they found, have this rune etched in them. They got like 120, I think, 120 something rune or gold coins when they beat Snulgo, and yeah, now we just found out that all those gold coins had Snulgo's rune etched in them, and then apparently Snulgo was here previously or claimed this as his as his area. So that's neat. Okay. And I think that's basically what happened while they're waiting for oh, that was an 11 too. Hold on. Was that a... Yeah, that was a... Okay, so, and that's lower than the Chaos rating. So, yeah, they realize that that's Snulgo's rune, but we also have another random event happening. Which means we have an event focus, which is going to be a 77, an ambiguous event. So, we're talking a couple hours after they've been sort of waiting, sitting here waiting. We're going to say it's been D4 hours. It's been an hour. Tobias was poking and prodding at the chest. Morning's Breath found the gully, and then the boulder, and Tobias looked at the rune of Snulgo, and then we have another random event happen that is ambiguous. So we don't know exactly if it's going to be good or bad, but the ambiguous event action is a 9, which is going to be Malice. All right. And then the next one is 83, which is a Riches. Malice Riches. There's a random event. Oh no. Malice Riches. Okay, so something strange happens as Tobias gets close or draws close to the rune on the boulder. The rune actually starts to glow. Rune on the boulder starts to glow as Tobias gets close. He's able to see that it says Snulgo, and he recognizes it from the coins. And he actually, what happens is Tobias gets out one of the coins to show Morning. But he saw that the boulder starts to glow when he got close, so he sort of just like, he's like, what the his detect magic is no longer running. And so what happens is he looks at the coin and be like, yeah, this is the same rune. And the question is, actually, yeah, I think, yeah, we're gonna say that the coin is also glowing. We don't even need to roll for that. Both the boulder and the coin are glowing, and the question is this some sort of trap? I think that's 50-50. I don't know. We're at Chaos 5, so that's 50%. 99, okay. Not only is it not a trap, it's hell no trap at all. So then what sort of effect is this happening? It's not a trap. Let's see. What would Wilderness say? It's not a trap. But that doesn't. But it's still ambiguous. So it's. Yeah, I think what's gonna happen is, as Tobias is showing Morning the coin, he notices that they're both glowing and they both have the same etching on them, or the same rune. He actually steps closer a little bit, and the coin whips out of his hand and sticks against the stone. And he wasn't holding onto it very, very hard, but he brings out another coin, and he can this time hold onto it. Holding onto it more, he sort of feels that the coin is drawn to the boulder, and that he notices that the coins in his pouch are also being drawn towards it. The question, though, is Morning able to get the coin back? I think Tobias is going to take a couple of these coins. Tobias steps away. He doesn't want to lose all the gold, but we also don't know that they're going to lose it yet. So he grabs he grabs 2 or 3 of the gold coins, but steps away and leaves his bag like 10 or 20 feet further back, so where it's not going to get pulled towards the boulder. And as he does that, the glowing on the rune gets darker. And what he does is he walks closer and closer, and as he gets closer and closer to the boulder, he feels the pull on the coins getting stronger and stronger, as if they can't, or as if they're getting pulled towards the boulder with some sort of force. So here, as it was close, he feels. As he steps close, the coin in his hand is pulled away and smacks the boulder, sticking to it. Tobias puts his pouch in a safe place and tests this force with a handful of coins. And so basically, over the course of a few minutes, he's gonna lose, let's say, D6 gold coins. 2 more gold coins, so there's 3 gold coins stuck to the boulder. And the question is, does anything happen to the boulder as more coins get stuck to it? I don't know. That seems unlikely, but just we'll say that's 35. No. Okay, so no, nothing changes really with the boulder. I guess as more, we'll say as more coins get stuck to it, you know, the brightness of the glowing rune gets brighter. I think, let's see, what are Tobias's? Tobias is going to go up, and actually he's going to try to remove one of the coins from the boulder, because hey, that's, why not? That's a point of inquiry. Are they really stuck to it as much as he thinks? And I don't even think we need a roll. It's going to be impossible. Is he able to get the coin off of the boulder? I'm gonna say it's impossible. So 5% chance. Yeah, no. The coins are stuck really fast, and I mean, maybe it's possible to be strong enough. But actually, what we're gonna do is, what Tobias, he's gonna take another coin, a fourth coin, and he's gonna try to crush something with the coin with the force to see if it's actually. Because he's gotten to the point where he's gotten close to the boulder with the coin, but he's never, it's always like fallen out of his hand because he's not super strong. He's kind of dexterous, but not really. Like it's really hard to keep a hold of these coins once he's within 5 feet of the boulder. So I think what he's going to do, how can he test this? I think he's going to get a branch. Right? He's gonna tie the coin to the branch and just with Morning, he's gonna tie the coin to the center of the branch on the opposite side, and then they're both gonna hold opposite sides of the branch and get slightly closer and see what happens. I think does this work? And the question here is, does this work the way that it seems like it will? Like as they get really close, I think, well, they're going to get a really decent sized branch. So it's going to be something that's maybe like 4 or 5 inches in diameter. They want to really test this and not get some weak branch. Oh man, okay. And so what I think is gonna happen here is, does this work as, the question for the mythic generators, does this work as we think it will? I think it's likely. I think it's very likely. Let's just say likely. 75. 29, yes, this definitely works. The way I think it will. So what happens is, Tobias and Morning's Breath they sort of lash with a bit of string or a bit of rope one of the coins to the far side of a branch. This really thick. It's like a, you know, it's not super long. It's about a 5 or 6 foot branch, and they're each on one side of it, and they're backing slowly towards the boulder at the center. And what happens is, basically, as they get closer, there's so much force on the coin. The question is, does it break? I think they're not very strong, the two of them, so I don't think the stick is going to break. So I think it's unlikely. I think it's very unlikely the stick's going to break. So 25%. No, so the stick's not, they're not going to have enough force in order to break the stick. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to make a combined strength check here, because once they get to be like a foot or 2 feet away from the boulder, it's going to be a lot of force. And so they are going to, actually, yeah, this is going to be a strength saving throw. So this first one is for Tobias. He's got a 6. Oh buddy, that's a 5. And then Morning's Breath actually has an 8 because he's got a -2. So they both fail at even a DC 10 saving throw. So what happens is, as they get really close to the boulder, there's, you know, this dramatic increase in force of on the coin from the boulder. And so when they get really close, it's like an amazing amount of force, and the stick actually just like snaps backwards and slams into the boulder. but because they're so weak, they're not really pushing hard enough. They weren't ready, so they both actually go flying across the way, and I think this is something that is they're going to get a little bit of hurt from this. I'm going to say they both have a chance. I'm going to say it's a DC 11 dexterity save to, not crack their head on something and take D4 damage. So we're going to say a DC 11 dexterity. Here's Tobias. He's got a +1. Oh, baby. That's a natural 1. And then Morning's Breath has a 3. They're not doing great on these saves. Okay, so Tobias actually, no, he just auto fails. We're not gonna. Let's ask the generator. Does Tobias have something extra? Okay, first of all, Morning's Breath takes D4 damage. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Morning's Breath now is at 7 health, and does something really bad happen to Tobias? Like, we're in the woods. Like, there's rocks, there's sticks everywhere. I think it's 50-50. 39. So yeah, Tobias, I think, yeah, Tobias takes a little extra damage. He's gonna get 2d4 damage, but also it's not that bad. He just he takes a really bad hit. He lands his his back shoulder on a root and just gets a really bad knocking. I think 2d4. That takes 5 damage. Okay. He still has 15 hit points, plus 3 more from his abjuration shield. But that's as he slams into the ground, we see this, or you would see this shimmer of sort of like this translucent blue energy emanate from him. Sort of like it's the expansion of his mage armor keeps him from actually taking any damage, but you can see that the shield itself is weaker. And there we go. That's the scene. We don't really know a whole lot more about those coins. But we sort of understand how they work, and that's all that happens as they're waiting. Next time we will. The next scene that we're looking to have is when the alien returns. It's going to be another 5-ish hours. And yeah, we will see you next time.